Sheesh, URL. I'm surprised. Actually, I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed. Let's talk about it. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Shaking my head. So, before I go into work, I had this thought. This came across my desk probably a few days ago. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like this was something that is not something that I should speak about, because when it comes to this specific topic, it has nothing to do with me, right? It literally has nothing to do with me, like, at all. So it's not something that I would want to touch on. When it comes to battle rap and things that are battle rap related, I feel like it has to do with all of us. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to a situation like this, I don't feel like it has much to do with me. Even though I do have my thoughts on this topic, the only reason that I'm even speaking on this topic right now is because Norbes gave me his blessing to speak on my thoughts as it pertains to this topic that we're about to speak on real quick. The only reason that I'm even touching on this and speaking on it, because when I heard these news drop, I had my thoughts. I had my speculations. I kind of had a feeling I knew what was going on. But again, the situation has absolutely nothing to do with me. And it goes into courts. It goes into law. It goes into lawsuits. So I know some of you guys recently came across and heard the news. DNA Tooth, you know what I'm saying, was one of the people that dropped the bomb. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see that video in particular, but I did catch when Norbes live streamed about the topic. So after DNA Tooth dropped the video, dropping the bomb, you know what I'm saying, dropped one of DJ Clue's bombs, shortly after, Norbes went live and spoke on the topic, where he confirmed that he in fact was subpoenaed by the URL in a case that has nothing to do with Norbes. Again, this is why I had my thoughts on the topic, but I didn't want to speak on it, because it's like, this has to do with somebody and people that are in the realm of battle rap, but the situation has nothing to do with battle rap. So I didn't feel like it was something I should speak on. But again, the only reason I'm even mentioning this and talking about this is because I spoke with Norbes yesterday, and he gave me his blessing to speak on my thoughts on the topic. He did, because what I thought when these news first came out, what I thought was, oh my goodness, man. Tisk, 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 bro. What a shame, bro. What a shame, bro. I felt as if though my immediate reaction to the situation, right, Norbes being subpoenaed into a case that has nothing to do with him, was, okay, the URL and Norbes have their own thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Their own situation, where the URL could potentially lose it all. We all know URL and some of the things that have happened and that they've done over the course of the years, as it pertains to politics, as it pertains to all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We understand that, we know. So my first and initial thought was, wow, the URL is really trying to almost sabotage Norbes, weaken Norbes, force Norbes to have to utilize resources, time, and energy on something that has nothing to do with him, which will, in fact, and can affect his ability to put energy, focus, and time to his actual case that he has with the URL. which is the actual big case that we all are aware of and know about, that we know that Norbes has between the URL. We understand, we know what's going on with that. So my thoughts was, wow, the URL sees the growth that a Norbes has been experiencing in this past year alone. They see the topics that Norbes talks about on his podcast. They see the amount of people that call in to the show to constantly express their feelings, how they feel about a situation that really happened, to go in depth and talk about real things that are really happening in the culture, and not just a media channel that covers the surface level of battle rap. The surface level, by surface level, I mean just promoting and just interviewing battle, which is cool, which is dope. But we also, as a culture and community, need to understand the real things that are happening, the true things that are actually happening behind the scenes. URL sees that Norbes himself and his platform are growing and going into that direction, to where Norbes can potentially, if he grows big enough, affect the success of the URL. There's so many different ways as to how that can happen, but ultimately the URL is seeing Norbes as more of a threat over the course of time, as far as, not physically, as far as to their success, as far as to where Smack and Beasley and Chico think that they can take the URL. They see Norbes as a threat to that, which is why, in turn, the URL would absolutely do something like subpoena Norbes to force him to have to exhaust energy and resources into something that has nothing to do with him. Because at the end of the day, anything that you can do, bro, to inflict any type of damage to your enemy, which in the situation Norbes is to the URL, specifically the business of it, you're going to do. The URL sees Norbes as this threat, bro. It's plain and simple. That's why I think it's a shame. And it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't surprise me, but it's disappointing to see that the URL would be willing to go to the extent of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, everything has to do with money. And we know anybody will do anything for the love of the money. When it comes to $40 million, when it comes to $50 million, bro, anything can happen. A lot of people are willing to do a lot. Norbes' channel is exposing a lot of truth. Norbes, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Norbes constantly has battle rappers, even battle rappers who are URL battle rappers, on there, speaking their truths, talking about independence, talking about owning something, talking about the future. These things are those types of things are a threat to a business that thrives off of the ignorance and depends on the ignorance of the individual in order to succeed and capitalize. I hope people are following what I'm saying, bro. A business specifically like this depends and thrives on the ignorance of these battlers, of the culture, to capitalize, to capitalize to the max. So when you have a channel or a platform or a person like Norbes, who I consider to be kind of like a whistleblower, when you have a whistleblower exposing truths and people are actually listening, not just listening, but also calling in, partaking in interviews, and speaking on their own truths, that's dangerous for the future of the machine. It's dangerous, bro, because now people start to understand and people start to wake up over the course of time and start to take their battle rap careers, right, more seriously, and start to understand that these contracts are something that you really need to pay attention to. Why? Partly because Norbes, the whistleblower, had a platform that was telling you this a while ago. And you just so heard a conversation where people were talking about contracts and how they could be sneaky. So you just so decided to pick up that little, piece of information and utilize it to your benefit and to your advantage. These are the little intricacies that come with what happens when you expose truth all the time and when you blow the whistle. Those are just little things that come with that. The little sprinkles. That's what happens. And again, the URL being the machine, I understand. I understand why they would. I completely understand why they would go and subpoena Norbes. You know what I'm saying? To annoy him and to make him, you know what I'm saying, do like to, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, all right, cool. We're gonna make you, you know what I'm saying, spend some more money. We have to do some more stuff. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna make you, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna give you a headache. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make this harder or try to make it harder for you. Pretty much. And then as far as what I got, a few minutes. I don't even know if I should get into this other topic, man. I think I should save this for another blog, but I recently heard as well, man, that URL pretty much snatched Kings versus Queens from right up under Queen of the Ring's feet in a politically dirty business way. But more on that on my next blog, man. Let me know what y'all think of this whole Norbes being subpoenaed by the URL, being summoned by the battle rap gods to show up or to be involved or a part of something that had nothing to do with him in order to further y'all know what I'm trying to say, man. You already know what it is. It's your boy Joe coming at you live and direct from the battle.